What do we want in America? Do we want what you got, or do we want to keep what we have and just be satisfied that we might get an honest election depending on how lucky we get?
Yeah, okay, I think there you got quite a certain point, because I think the problem is actually that you're here. I think something is wrong as soon as you need experts to see if there's an election is valid or not, if my vote has been counted or not. As soon as we need experts for that, as soon as not everybody could do that for themselves, there is something wrong, and then we have to stand up and do something against that. And that's exactly the point. But I also think we also have, I mean, also what you said is right, that we are all endangered. Like the same tendency to cut down on democracy in many, many ways can be seen here by, now in Germany they started off a discussion of saying, oh, okay, maybe 4 years election term, that's so quick because in the last year we have to focus on the voters, so let's prolong this term. That's about the same thing. It's just, get rid of the voters in a different way. And I think we really have to watch that, and we really have to go against that in all kinds of terms.
I think your point's well taken, yes. May I ask, do you think the German court here was wrong in making it a human rights issue? Do you think that they misunderstood that we can do this with technology? Do you think they were wrong in their decision? Inherently, that they just didn't have the expertise to understand that maybe they were overreacting? I mean, would you say, let's change that and go back to the way we had? And say we'll take our risk that somebody's going to come up with a software that counts the votes accurately every time and you don't have to see it to guarantee it? Personally, human nature tells me the minute someone thinks they can get away with something because it's in secret, they will. So let's take away the temptation. I would love to have computers do everything. But unfortunately, when it comes to power and money, computers are great facilitators in an election to guaranteeing a few get all the power and a lot of money. And the citizens are left with the consequences. I don't know. That doesn't sound fair to me. I like the German court's decision. Sorry, I get so passionate.
No problem. As to my knowledge, the German Constitutional Court did not generally forbid voting computers, but it only told that if a voting computer would be used, it must be transparent. That's a transparency constraint which is in our constitution, and any machine must fit this. If I understood you correctly, not every state in the USA has this transparency constraint in the Constitution, or did I misunderstood?
Some of the states, if you're talking about some of the states specify similar things as your Constitution about the count has to be public. I guess we're hoping that public means that citizens can see the vote being counted. And the court said, and if the Chaos Computer Club can make such a machine that a non-technical person can understand that it's counting my votes every step of the way, and I don't need to get a PhD in computer science to understand it, well, I'm all for it. But if they can't make such a machine, then I think there's a reason for the secrecy, and I'm become cynical. Yes, because I think secrecy and democracy don't go together. And anyone that thinks secrecy is good for democracy is naive. Because someone, somewhere, will exploit that secrecy to their personal benefit and not for the good of the people. And anyone who looks at history will recognize that that happens almost every time. So we're in total agreement with the German court's ruling, how they said, transparent, the citizens do not need any specialized technical expertise to understand the counting of the vote, and it's open. It's not secret. where the expert tells us at the end of the day, everything went well, all your votes were counted. In fact, we brought Finnish security expert Harri Hursti to America to help us demonstrate what you guys did for the German court. We did two, actually, black box voting reports that showed the Diebold touchscreen and the Diebold optical scan could be manipulated. The optical scan by using only a memory card. And we were assured by the vendor there was no executable program on the memory card. I mean, we have to trust, and there's the problem.
And another word about open source. I like open source very much, but it wouldn't solve the problem because if I have an open source program which does accounting, and everyone in this room could check it, and even if we would say the transparency aspect would be fit by that 1,000 people of the Computer Chaos Club maybe checked the program. We cannot tell if the program is exactly that program which was compiled from this source which is running on this system. We can't tell it. So even if we have the source code, we don't know if that product is running on the computer which is actually doing voting.
So open source isn't the answer either?
No, not really.
Thank you for that. Thank you. We've got about 4 minutes. I would love to talk to you guys forever, because if I could just take you back with me to America, you could tell them everything that I could. It would be wonderful. One more.
Yeah, just a quick question. In the video, it was mentioned that the Democrats had no interest in exposing the fraud, and also you mentioned that when you went to the media, there were repercussions for the people who actually produced the things. So, to what extent have you investigated the political connections in all these institutions? How are there political connections in Diebold, in the media, and who's actually the connection?
The media is corporately owned, and the media has a vested interest in the outcome of every election because of the policies that will be passed by whatever administration gets into power. And then you have lobbyists. There's like 3 lobbyists for every representative in Congress. And the voting machine company has deep pockets, money. So they send these lobbyists to our representatives, and they convince our representatives to buy these voting machines because we can guarantee to get safe and secure elections. And that the representatives look at it as they're going to choose the very system that's going to keep them in power. Not a bad idea. Conflict of interest? Pshaw. Don't worry about that. Citizens are not involved in any of the process of the testing is secret. The certification process is secret. Even the procurement of the machines at various states are secret. The citizens only pay for it in the billions of dollars. So what we have is a secret society almost controlling our elections, and it's lobbyists, insiders, and our experts who are convinced, as most academics usually are, that we can invent the software that will be secure and you won't need transparency. And I just don't agree with that. I don't know how to tell them no.
I can see we've got quite a queue coming up here. So,
yeah,
what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you overrun for a couple of minutes because we've got 15 minutes between talks.
Well, I'd love to hear.
If the next 2 guys can keep it quick, then you're on. Oh, hang on a minute.
Oh my goodness!
Quick accident. Here, I'll take care of that. You want some questions?
Okay. Yes.
Hi there. I'm actually here from California, so another American hacker who's entirely in agreement with your suggestion that in order for an election to be fair, it must be open, regardless of security precautions, of course, which should be taken anyway. However, I have an issue with how you're approaching this. You're trying to sort of raise awareness, and that's great. I think that's an excellent thing that you're doing. I suggest, however, that it lacks teeth.
Lacks what, teeth?
Yes.
What would be teeth?
Teeth would be, for example, drafting a proposition, getting it put on the ballot, and instead of begging election officials to pass regulations that say all election machines sold in this state must pass certain